They found her camera 3 days after she vanished. The last thing it recorded will haunt you. At 1:15 a.m., the lens captured a figure beneath the bridge, crawling upside down like a spider, hammering fresh steel beams into place. When investigators zoomed in, they saw his face clearly. The village elders were brought in to identify him. The oldest man in the room collapsed. The others stepped back in horror. Because the face on that screen belonged to Samuel Okoro, their former construction foreman, who fell into that river and drowned in 1943. That was 76 years ago. But here's the part that made government engineers pack up their equipment and refuse to return. The bridge had grown 22 meters in 6 months. No construction company had been there. No permits had been issued. The new steel matched samples from 1943, but the bolts were brand new, tightened within weeks. Someone was building that bridge, someone who had been dead for over 7 decades, and he wasn't stopping. The Ebo River Bridge sits 40 kilometers outside Calabar in southeastern Nigeria. It's an old colonial structure from the 1940s, made of rusted iron and weathered wood. Every few years, government engineers measure it and find it's gotten longer. No construction crews, no permits, no records, just new sections appearing as if they've always been there. The locals won't cross it after dark. They say it's cursed, that it takes a life every time it grows. Most people dismiss this as superstition, but then you look at the evidence, the deaths, the disappearances, the measurements that don't add up, and the footage that shows things that shouldn't exist. Before we dive deeper, let us know in the comments where you're watching from. We'd love to hear from you. And if you're new here, click on the subscribe button so you never miss any of our upcoming videos. To understand what's happening now, you have to go back to 1943. World War II was raging, and British colonial engineers were building infrastructure across West Africa. One project was the Ebo River Bridge. They sent William Hargreaves, a civil engineer from London with a reputation for efficiency. He arrived with a crew of local laborers and a tight deadline. The site chosen was a floodplain near a bend in the river. The soil was soft and unstable. Local leaders warned Hargreaves that the land was sacred, a burial site where dozens of villagers had drowned during a catastrophic flood in the 1920s. Their bodies were never recovered, and the community believed their spirits still lingered. Hargreaves dismissed it entirely. His foreman, Samuel Okoro, a respected local man, tried to reason with him. He suggested moving the bridge just a few hundred meters upstream where the ground was firmer. Hargreaves refused. The site had been surveyed and approved, and he wasn't restarting because of ghost stories. Construction began, and immediately, things went wrong. Scaffolding collapsed for no clear reason. Tools vanished overnight and reappeared rusted and bent. Workers heard whispers coming from the water. One laborer saw a pale hand reaching up from the mud, but when others came, there was nothing. Hargreaves blamed carelessness and pushed the crew harder. Samuel did his best to keep morale up, but fear was spreading. Some workers stopped showing up. Then, on the final day of construction, Samuel Okoro fell into the river. No one saw exactly how. He was supervising the placement of a support beam, and then he was gone. The current wasn't strong that day, but Samuel never resurfaced. They searched for hours, dragged the riverbed, sent divers down. Nothing. No body. No clothing. No trace. The river had swallowed him whole. Hargreaves insisted the project be completed. He filed a report calling it a tragic accident and left as soon as the bridge was finished. A week later, he was supposed to board a ship back to England from Lagos. He never arrived. His belongings were found in his hotel room, untouched. His passport, money, journals, all there. But William Hargreaves had vanished without a trace. The bridge opened in early 1944 with no ceremony. Locals avoided it, taking longer routes rather than cross. And then the deaths began. In 1947, a truck driver's vehicle stalled halfway across the bridge. He was found hours later, slumped over the wheel, dead. The autopsy revealed his lungs were full of river water, but the truck cabin was bone dry. No water inside, no broken windows, no flooding. He had drowned on dry land. The coroner's report stated cause of death as drowning. but there was no logical explanation for how water got into his lungs. The truck was sealed. The windows were up. It hadn't rained. Yet somehow, the Ebo River had filled his lungs while he sat in a locked vehicle. In 1953, a school bus carrying 12 children and a driver disappeared in thick fog while crossing. A farmer heard the engine slow, then nothing. When the fog lifted, the bus was gone. Only tire tracks remained, stopping abruptly at the bridge's edge. No skid marks, no crash. 13 people vanished. Search teams dragged the river for weeks. They found nothing, no wreckage, no bodies. Those families still gather at the bridge every year on the anniversary, hoping for answers that never come. In 1968, a young couple came to take engagement photos. They set up a tripod and used a timer. When the film was developed, the couple was gone. Their car was found parked near the bridge, camera still on the tripod. But in every photo, there was a shadow beneath the bridge, a human shape hanging upside down from the beams. It had fingers, it had a face, and in the final photo, the shadow was reaching upward toward them. By the 1970s, paranormal researchers from the University of Lagos investigated. They noted the bridge was 14 meters longer than the original blueprints indicated. When they contacted the Ministry of Works, they were told no work had ever been authorized on the bridge since 1943. No maintenance, no upgrades. Yet it had grown. In 2019, journalist Adaeze Nwankwo arrived from Lagos. She worked for an online news platform and specialized in debunking myths. She saw the bridge as perfect material for a documentary. She interviewed locals and reviewed police reports. Most people wouldn't talk. One elderly man finally agreed on condition of anonymity. He told her something that should have made her turn around. The bridge doesn't take travelers, it takes workers. When she asked what he meant, he just walked away. Adaeze decided to spend a night at the bridge herself. She set up cameras, audio recorders, and went alone. It was late November, a clear night. She started recording just after midnight. For an hour, nothing happened. The bridge was silent. Too silent. No insects, no birds, just unnatural stillness. At 1:15 a.m., her camera died. Battery was full, but it wouldn't restart. Her audio recorder was still running. When she played it back, she heard rhythmic metallic hammering from beneath the bridge. She grabbed her flashlight and looked down toward the water. At first, nothing. Then she saw movement. A figure clinging to the beams, crawling upside down. It was human-shaped but wrong. The limbs too long, movements too fluid. And it was hammering something into the steel with precise strikes. Adaeze called out. The figure stopped. Slowly, it turned its head toward her. The flashlight caught its face. Hollow eyes, skin stretched tight over bone, a mouth frozen in a grimace. She screamed and dropped the flashlight into the river. Everything went dark. Her equipment, her phone, even distant village lights. She ran blindly back to her car and didn't stop for miles. 3 days later, villagers found her car abandoned near the bridge. Doors open, belongings scattered. Adaeze was gone. Her camera was recovered from the riverbank. The memory card was damaged, but specialists salvaged the footage. It showed exactly what she described. The figure beneath the bridge, hammering, working. And in one frame, the face was clear. Village elders identified him immediately. It was Samuel Okoro, the foreman who drowned in 1943, dead for 76 years. How would you react if you saw that footage? If you watched a dead man working on a bridge, would you be able to sleep that night? Would you convince yourself it was fake? The elders couldn't. They knew Samuel's face, his posture, the way he worked, and they were certain the man in that footage was him. After Adaeze's disappearance, the Nigerian Ministry of Works sent engineers to inspect the bridge. What they found was impossible. The bridge was now 68 meters long. Original plans specified 35 meters. No construction records existed. No permits. No materials delivered. Yet the bridge had nearly doubled in size. Lab analysis confirmed the materials matched 1940s construction methods. but the bolts and rivets in the newest sections showed almost no oxidation. They were freshly installed, recently tightened. Within the last few weeks, the engineers refused to return to the site. The villagers believe Samuel Okoro never left the bridge. They say he's still working, still building, trying to finish what William Hargreaves left incomplete. Some think he's building a pathway for the spirits of the drowning victims. Others believe that once the bridge reaches a certain length, the river will rise again like it did in the 1920s and reclaim everything. Every rainy season, the river swells. Every dry season, when the water recedes, the bridge is measurably longer. The government has tried to restrict access. They've put up barriers and warning signs, but the barriers are always removed within days. People still cross because for many, it's the only route to town. Here's the question I want you to think about. If you were driving alone late at night and reached a fork where one path led across the Ebo River Bridge and the other was a 3-hour detour through unlit back roads, what would you do? Would you take the bridge? Would you tell yourself the stories are just stories, that the deaths are coincidences, that the footage was faked? Or would you take the detour? Would you listen to that instinct that tells you some places are dangerous, not because of what you can see, but because of what you can't? Put yourself in that moment, alone, dark, tired. The bridge is right there, just 2 minutes across, but you know the stories. You know 13 children disappeared there. You know a man drowned in a sealed truck. You know a journalist went to film it and never came home. What would you do? Leave your answer in the comments because I genuinely want to know. The Ebo River Bridge is still there. Right now, as you're watching this, it's still growing, still waiting. And somewhere beneath it, in the cold, dark water, Samuel Okoro is still there, still hammering, still building, one bolt at a time. Some bridges are built to connect people, but other bridges are built for different reasons. Maybe some bridges are built to contain something, or to serve as a permanent reminder that some warnings should never be ignored, and some jobs, once started on cursed land, can never truly be finished by the living. They require workers who can't stop, who can't rest, who can't leave. Workers like Samuel Okoro, who fell into that river in 1943 and has been building ever since, trapped in an endless loop of construction, bound to the bridge until whatever purpose it serves is finally complete. And we have no idea when that will be.